Hey y'all, I just intended to do another cucumber recipe for #moderncucumber23, but it turned into a whole meal. So let's go and see what happens. Don't forget you can add a video to the collaboration. The instructions are in the video. See you there. Hey y'all, welcome to my modern homestead. It's Janet here. I'm so glad that you're here. Now look, I'm not going to show you myself today because I look a mess. But I am getting dinner ready, and this is another cucumber recipe that we're trying. This is going to be Korean cucumbers, and the first thing you're supposed to do is start with it calls for 2 Korean cucumbers or English cucumbers, but I don't have either. I just have what's in my garden. But I do know that English cucumbers don't have very many seeds. So I took the young cucumbers that I have, and I'm just going to slice them up thinly. And when we get these sliced up, then we're just going to sweat them. That just means we're going to put a little salt on them and let them sit for at least 30 minutes and let some of the liquid drain from them. I feel like that's all I've done this summer is just drain liquids off of cucumbers. But hey, it's been worth it. My husband said, well, I guess next year you're just going to plant 1 cucumber bush, huh? And I was like, I don't know. I have thoroughly enjoyed having these cucumbers this year. So, I don't know. We'll see. For right now, I'm just going to take these sliced cucumbers and put them in here until I get them all sliced up. Look at these. But, have y'all seen the no peak beef tips? I'm going to do those because my husband really loves those. He's been on the road and he's coming home today. So I like to have a meal for him when he comes home. But I'm going to add a thing or two to it and see how we like it. So let's get these finished up and then we'll be right back. I almost forgot again, y'all. I am doing an open collaboration. It's #moderncucumber23, #moderncucumber23. And I'm just inviting anyone who would like to add cucumber recipes to it to just join in. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate, but I was looking for different cucumber recipes instead of just the salad, cucumber salad or cucumber relish. So I've been on a mission to find different, new, and interesting recipes. My friend Rebecca at Littlefoot Ranch has joined us. She's added a recipe to the playlist. And if you look on my channel, go and find the playlist, and you'll see the playlist titled Modern Cucumber 23. And I would love to have more people join us. Just tag me, and we'll make sure that that recipe gets added to the playlist, and I'll add your name and channel name to the playlist description. Now, I don't know if there's a way, and I'm not understanding how to do it. I don't know how to tag your channel. I tried to with Rebecca's, and I never could figure it out. But I will still add your name where people can see you in your name and visit your channel. And if you would like to add any of my videos to a playlist you have, that's fine too. This is just a playlist to help each other out. I'm not really doing a prize giveaway or anything like that. It's just something fun for us, because if you're gardening and you grow cucumbers, I know you're overwhelmed with cucumbers too. All right. So look there, I talked the whole time I was doing those. Didn't even realize it. All right, let's put all of them in here. And then we're going to add, if you're doing a single recipe, it would just be 2 cucumbers, but I've doubled the recipe, so I did 4. So for each 2 cucumbers, you would do ½ a teaspoon of salt. So since I have 4, that's a ½ a teaspoon. I'm going to add a whole teaspoon. There we go. Let's get a spoon and mix that all up. Alright, got my spoon. Y'all, I hope these are not too spicy. I am not a big spicy person, and I really want to like these. If y'all been here before, you heard me talk about on one of my other recipes how my Aunt Song is from Korea, and she would always make a cucumber recipe. I haven't been able to talk to her or see her in years, so I don't know if this is what she did or not. It looks like them, so we'll see. Now, I also have out all my other ingredients. Oh, look at there. Did I do that on purpose? I think that was close to the end. I have out all my other ingredients, and we'll talk about those after these have sweated. Alright, got these all mixed up. And what we're going to do, excuse me, we're going to try to make them fit in here. I don't know if we can. I might have to do 2 colanders or strainers. And what this is going to do is just draw that liquid out of the cucumbers. See if we can get it to pile in there without falling everywhere. Can we do it? I think we can. Let's use our hands. Nibble a cucumber. Okay, get it. Y'all can't even see the top of it. There we go. Alright, so we're going to let it sit for at least 30 minutes and then we'll be back. So we have a few minutes to wait on the cucumber, so I figured why not just go ahead and put the rest of the meal together. I'm just spraying this 9013 pan or baking dish. And in order to make these beef tips, the original recipe, somebody had posted it on Facebook, one of my personal friends, and I've made it several times since. Anyway, it just calls for the meat. But y'all, you know me, I cannot leave a recipe alone. I just have to change it and fix it and make it the way I want to make it. So what I want to do is to cut up these 2 onions, and we're just going to quarter them. I'm not going to cut them into little pieces. I also have a pack of mushrooms. They don't look so hot, but hey, you got to get what you can get, right? So that's what an 8-ounce package, and we're going to add those in with the meat. So let me get these peeled and cut up, and we'll be back. All right. If that recipe is called No Peak Beef Tips, I think we're going to have to call these fancy No Peak Beef Tips. There's the 1 onion, 2. All right, got all of our stuff that goes in it fixed. We're going to set the onion and meat and mushrooms to the side for just a minute, and let's mix up the sauce part. Whoop. Look, running out of room. I've got all my garden stuff, and then I've got stuff for these cucumbers sitting out. All right, let's get our bowl. We need a can of cream of mushroom soup. Just dump that in there. Alrighty. See, this is stuff for that cucumber recipe. Now we have a packet of beefy onion soup mix. I'm going to add this to that cream of mushroom soup. Oh, I don't normally like cooking out of packets and boxes, but I make an exception for this recipe. And this is a brown gravy mix. I'm just going to get that a little mix, and then we're going to add 1 can of water. And just use the soup can to measure. And y'all, you'll think this recipe is going to come out all tough with that meat being in the oven for so long, but y'all, I promise you it's not. My husband loves this. He calls it beef stew. He said, I want beef stew tonight. And speaking of which, you could add carrots to this if you would like. I don't have any, so we're not. Okay, got that good mix. Let's get the water. There's our water. And I like to add it in slowly so we don't have a lumpy soup. So just stir it in slowly till you have a smooth soup mixture. And there's the last little bit of water. Nice and smooth. That's the hard part, y'all. So if you made it that far, you did great. Alright, now let's add in the meat. These are big chunks. I might cut them up a little bit smaller. Right, let's add in our, are y'all recording? Yes. Let's add in our mushrooms. Now I left the beef the way it was, but I am going to break these mushrooms up. Neither of my children like mushrooms, but in recipes like this, I love mushrooms. Don't give me a raw mushroom, especially these. They're just about bad. So anyway, just going to break them up, spread them across. Alrighty, here we go. Now let's add in our onion. Nothing special to it, just break up the pieces and spread them out. I'm going to take these onion pieces and turn them with, see how they're scooped like this? I'm going to turn them over like this instead of like this, so that soup doesn't catch. Isn't that OCD? But I want the soup to be down around the meat, not caught in the onions on top. Okay. And speaking of the soup, let's just take it and pour it over. Sorry about that noise, y'all. That's my ice maker. You hear it in just about every video I do. I never remember to turn it off. Alrighty. So there we go. We're going to cover this tightly with foil, and then we're going to put it in a 300, not 350, 300 degree oven. And then we're going to cook it for 2.5 to 3 hours. And that's it, y'all. It's the hardest part. While this is cooking, you can be doing your sides. And when it's done, supper's ready. How easy is that? Y'all, my poor scallions. I was supposed to do this recipe, last week? And I never got around to it. So I'm just doing my best. They're holding on for dear life. They're trying their best to wait on me. So anyway, I'm just peeling back some of the hard parts. And for one recipe, that ice maker, for one recipe you would use one of these, green onion or scallion, whichever you would prefer. But I'm doubling the recipe, so I'm using pieces we could salvage. Just about done with this onion. Alright, let's prepare the garlic. I smash it that way so that it's easy to get out of that outer wrapper. And it makes it easier to chop. They pop right out. For the garlic, you just mince it up. Yes, I know I'm using a paring knife. It's just what I had out and it was already dirty. I didn't want to mess up another knife, so I'm just going with it. To mince it, you just cut it in really small pieces. I usually cut it in at least 2 directions. Alrighty, there is our minced garlic. Alrighty, the hard part is done. All we need to do now is put them together. So we're going to take the cucumbers and see, it does release liquid. The longer you leave them, the more liquid they release. Anyway, okay, so now we're going to take the green onion. I think I was calling it a scallion, but y'all know what I mean. Green onion, just sprinkle that over. And the garlic. Okay, next we want to add in our Korean red pepper. Now I was reading about this. This naturally is just, it's a warm pepper. It looks like it's like on the medium scale. But I've read that it is naturally sweet and smoky. There's not really anything that compares to it but this pepper. It smells good. But y'all, I'm scared of it. One recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of it. You know I'm making 2 recipes, but I'm just going to start, and it's about to make me sneeze. I'm going to start with just the 1 tablespoon and add more if we need it. Okay, now we're going to add 2 teaspoons of sesame seeds. Now these I have actually toasted. The recipe doesn't say to toast them, but hey, whatever floats your boat, you go right ahead. Okay, now we need 2 teaspoons of rice wine vinegar. When I bought this, I thought it would go to waste, but I use it actually in a lot of things. Okay, now I need 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. All right, I took that little pouring thing out of it. So 1 and 2. That is probably one of my most favorite ingredients of all ingredients, other than cumin. I love cumin. All right, now we need to add the sugar, and we need 1 teaspoon. One recipe calls for a half teaspoon. There we go. Let's mix it up. I wish y'all were here and could smell this. Oh, it takes me back to my grandmama's table when my Aunt Song would be there cooking. Those green onions, that sesame oil. Oh my goodness. I know these are supposed to be a dark red, so I think I'm going to have to add in the other tablespoon of that red pepper, but we're going to try them first before we do that. Can y'all see how pretty? I'm glad I grew up and my palate has changed. Let's see. Pepper's not super hot, but it does have a kick. So maybe we'll just stop right there. I'm glad I didn't add it before I tasted it. Y'all do the same. So if you're making one recipe, if you're sensitive to heat, cut that pepper back by half, I would suggest, and try it. This is going to be so good with those beef tips. Okay, let's put a lid on these, and we're going to put them in the refrigerator until supper. And y'all, can y'all believe I forgot to put something in my beef tips? I think I'm going to pull them out. Am I? No, I'll tell you about it at the end. I'm not going to pull them out because you're not supposed to peek. You're not supposed to open them and let the steam out. I can't believe I did that. Oh well, it'll be all right. Okay, y'all, one last thing for supper. We're going to peel some potatoes. There are only 3 of us here tonight, so we don't need a lot. But let's just peel these, chop these, and boil them for about 3 to 5 minutes until soft. Okay, mashed potato slice. Let's add a little bit of salt to this water. Sorry about that noise. Let's add a little bit of salt to the water and boil them. Alrighty, here are our potatoes. Now we are just going to do a simple mashed potato, nothing fancy, just a little salt and pepper. Now these already have the salt on them from where I was cooking them, so I'm not going to add salt until I'm done mixing them. Add a little bit of milk. And then we'll just blend them up. There is also a half a stick of butter in there. But we don't want these to have a lot of flavor because this is not the star of the show. This is just the background that holds everything together. To add a little more milk. Perfect. They don't need anything. When I was cooking these, I added 3/4 of a cup, not cup, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And I'm not adding any extra. My goodness, y'all. These are perfect mashed potatoes. Yum. Just salt, pepper, and butter, and milk. Y'all, I was putting up the cucumbers and look what I found. These are some cream peas from the garden that we shelled. I'm going to actually cook a few tonight. Hadn't planned on it, but why not? And then we'll put the rest in the freezer. All we need to do is add water and boil. You can put gochujang in here or just salt and butter, whatever you prefer. Here are our peas that we didn't cook for supper. These, I just finished blanching them. Now I have them laying out to dry. Then we'll bag them up and put them in the freezer. Okay, our peas are done. Now I'm just going to drain these. In the bowl I have not quite a tablespoon of butter and just a little bit of salt. Okay, now that these are drained, I'm going to pour them over the butter and salt. Give them a stir, and they're done. Okay, now let's just mix them up and wait on the beef tips to get ready. Look what I just took out of the oven. Why is it so dark? Now y'all, when you open this, you need to be very careful because this has steam in it and it will burn you. So just carefully open edges. Let some of it escape. And then you're going to lift it away from you. Look at that. Hello. Y'all remember when I said I forgot to put something in there? It was these. I grew these in my garden and I got these and I had them just to go in here. I'm so crazy. Anyway, there is supper, y'all. I wish y'all were here. Y'all, thank you so much for joining me. You know I love it when you come and spend a few minutes with me. So until we meet again, may you be blessed. Love you guys.